Hey, welcome back to my Fallout New Vegas walkthrough. In the last part, we basically spent the entire time working towards getting our new player home available. And as a result, we now have the transponder available, so we're able to teleport to our underwater home at our leisure. And we had Veronica stay there with the plasma rifle we got at the Rubcon HQ for the time being, as I felt that she was sort of a little bit gratuitous. Boone and I will be able to, Boone, Eddie and I, yes, will be able to handle anything thrown at us for quite a while, if not indefinitely. And in this part, I intend to enter the mysterious Vault 11, directly south of the 188 trading post, I believe. And inside is a very sad story. As well as a lot of vermin. Let's see here. Mantises and bark scorpions going at it. Veronica's still in my companion bar. Let's take her off.
All mine.
Here.
You're mine.
Yes, I shot him in the antennae, which frenzied him, causing him to attack his other mantis friend. This is a universal trait with bugs. If you shoot them in the antennae, then they'll become frenzied and will attack allies. So when you walk in here, you'll see a few skeletons on the ground. See, one of them has a gun, I believe. Maybe I dislodged it. Oh, here it is. No, that's his hand. Or her hand, or a hand. Okay, there's a number of skeletons just kind of chilling on the ground there.
It's over.
And yes, it is over, Boone. Some rounds, which I presume were on the table before something bumped them off. And if we check the terminal here, we have a security recording, which I will let play out.
Are we really gonna do this? It's open. We could just leave.
I couldn't. Not after that.
We don't deserve to leave. A shining example. That's what it called us. But we were. We did what we were supposed to. Not by a long shot. Anybody would have done what we did.
You ask me? That's exactly the problem. Now let's get on with this.
I'll go first. Wait. People should know what happened. They could learn from it. If there's anyone out there at all, I hope they never have to find out. Ready, Harry? Yeah.
Well, about that.
No, wait!
Sounds like one of them couldn't do it. Wonder what happened to him. No, his voice does sound similar to another character in this game that I know, but I think that a lot of voice actors are reused. Sort of like in Skyrim and Obsidian. Oblivion. To save some money. So, that's probably just the case. I doubt it's canon that that character came from this vault, although if it is, that's interesting.
Good.
Let's have them be
All
aggressive, as
Can't
these
run from
deserve
me.
no mercy. And they're not particularly threatening. I would be careful though, because again, if you're on high difficulty, pretty much any enemy can kill you. My companions will have no problems dealing with them though, because they don't have damage modifiers for and against them. Well, not for, well, all against them. So here's an election guide for the vault, presumably for the overseer position. Congratulations, your dedication to the democratic process is the bedrock upon which the continued stability of Vault 11 is based. Now, to help you make your decision for this year's election, the coalition of Vault 11 voting blocks has put together this handy dweller's official guide to obtaining overseers democratically, or do good. That's cute. It contains a summary of the leading candidates for overseer, as well as their statements, key positions, and most importantly, endorsements. Sincerely, Roy Gottlieb, Chairman, Coalition of Vault 11 voting blocks. Candidate Henry Glover, endorsements. Utilitarian block, Divine Will block, Allied Service Workers block. I'm a devoted husband and a father of 6 beautiful children. My oldest Sam, was the honor roll this quarter, and I couldn't be prouder of him. My youngest, Henry Jr., said his first word, and it was Dada. We've got this bond already, and he's still just a baby. Friends, when you go to the polls this election, I want you to think of your own children. Then I want you to think of Sam and Henry Jr., picture their faces. Nate Stone should be overseer, not me. Aware of the rumors circulating about me, I want everyone to know that they are vicious lies being spread by the other candidates in a desperate smear campaign. I have never in my life had anything so depraved, let alone for such things, but even if I had, they still wouldn't mean that you should vote for me. Consider the fact that I am grossly underqualified for the position, and that both of my opponents are far more deserving. I know nothing about governance. You would be hard-pressed to find a worse candidate than me. I can promise you my administration would be a disaster. This is ridiculous. I shouldn't even be a candidate, and I wouldn't be if all these dirty backroom politics going around out here. It's sickening. You should be all be ashamed. Well, that sounds interesting. Okay. So the election was canceled with Order 475, and the election's been postponed due to some unforeseen complications within the vault. Some more corpses of various mantises and rats. Oh, hi there.
You're mine.
Here we are.
Can't run from me.
So, by reading that terminal, I think we can ascertain that these people, for whatever reason, don't want to be elected as overseer. Don't vote Glover, his family needs him. I hate Kate, and I'm assuming that's Nate as well. Haley is known adulterer and communist sympathizer. Elect Haley for overseer. I'm assuming that wasn't written by Haley. Rumors about Haley are baseless. Vote Stone for overseer. So what could be so terrible about being overseer that all these people would be so opposed to it? I suppose we may find out later in the vault. We need to go deeper. So there'll be some more rats and mantises fighting here.
You're mine.
Wow. Bats is not very good at hitting these guys. Let's check out the male dorm. Pretty dark down here. I'll turn on my vault light. Vault boy? My pit boy light.
You're mine.
more of these posters. There's a personal terminal here. Let's check it out. We already read that one, and that one. Security recording is the one we haven't gotten. Oh, it's a holotape.
She can't do this. It's done. We're done. Nothing's done. She's got the authority. The only thing she can't do is change her own fate. Nothing says she can't change the selection process for future overseers. I say she can't. You shouldn't have toyed with her like that, Roy. We still have the majority. We don't vote for anything anymore. I'm not talking about voting. What then? You want to have a sit-in? A hunger strike? Not exactly. Maybe march into her office with torches and pitchforks? Yes. Come on. I mean it. What? Start a revolution? Laws don't outlast their governments. Roy, all we have to do is wait until someone from Justice Block gets picked for overseer. Then we have them change the law back. There won't be any blocks after the new overseer is picked tomorrow. Everyone's going to move on. By the time we've reformed, who knows if we'll still be in the majority? We can hold the block together. You don't know that. Besides, what if the computer picks you? What if it picks me? And your solution is to start shooting? Not if we don't have to. Look, we arm up. We go to the lower floors, take some strategic targets. Power, food, water. Just until she turns authority over to us. The other blocks won't support it. They're tired of us having the power. We have the majority. We don't need them. This isn't a vote, Roy. They'll fight back. They've never had the nerve. Hell of a way to test it.
Well, it would appear that the terminal password is in this footlocker here, underneath this overturned, whatever this is, shelf. So if you get locked out or whatever, the password's right there. So it looks like there's a planned coup d'etat, and that they intend to, or there was a planned coup d'etat, and they went down to the lower levels and staked out positions around food and water, and threatened to withhold them, given that the overseer would refuse to reform. Presumably, the selection system for the new overseer, because apparently being selected is the most terrible thing, or is a terrible thing, to have happen to you. And the mere thought of being selected is enough for people to attempt to overthrow the Vault's government. Now the obvious question is, if it was so terrible, why would it be done in the first place? And there's a few obvious potential reasons. If I had to guess, it'd be all it took was one mistake to set a precedence, and once the precedence was set, there was enough say, I suppose, and there was enough influence over people that they wanted so much to not go against precedents that it just continued, and as it continued more and more, that precedence became stronger as well. So after the first time, which may have just been because I was just following orders, the appeal to authority, the being able to shirk the blame off onto the superiors, that may have been what started it. But what I'm guessing what kept it going was their urges to, sort of like tradition, I guess. Although from the sounds of this, it's a pretty dark tradition that they're continuing. So in this mine box, I'm not sure if it's guaranteed. I found some pulse mines, and those are going to be very helpful later on. And you'll find out later why. But going into this vault, pulse grenades, pulse mines, very useful. We're going to have to be fighting some mechanical enemies soon. The armory here has a number of useful items. Lots of grenade launcher ammunition for whatever reason. Seems a bit overkill to me, but you know, they're fun weapons, so I won't complain. Let's see. I already looked those. Another terminal here. And we've already read these three. This is the... except from the deposition of defendant Catherine Stone by vault attorney Gerard Miles. I think Catherine Stone was the overseer who did the executive order for 745. Alright, let's pick up where we left off, Kate. It's the interview. Sorry, Catherine, I keep forgetting. My husband calls me Kate. You were telling us of a discussion you allegedly had with Roy Gottlieb of the Justice Bloc. I think Roy was one of the two men we were just hearing talk for a bit about the coup d'etat. Blah blah blah. Endorsement meetings. They're going to endorse him. We wouldn't see why, but I know my husband had a particular poker game with some of them, and he'd been administering lately. Wow, that's kind of dark. He would sway his block, preventing the endorsement, but only if I... What? So... she was offered... they offered protection for her husband if she performed sexual favors for them. And she agreed to she accepted their offers, but they still endorsed him. And then she decided to kill all the members of the bloc. She expected to be caught, and now she's going to be elected as overseer. And I think she was. Yeah, Catherine Stone was elected. So... she was raped, essentially, lied to. Her husband was still elected and presumably killed. So she decided to murder all the men who raped her so that she would be elected as overseer, which the only thing I can guess that would entail would be death, given the severity of her crime. And she was, and then she decided to end the voting process thereafter. So this is all pretty fucked up. Ow, there's a trap there. Lots of goodies here on the shelf. Some pre-war money. Footlocker suitcase. And if you have played any Fallout games before, well, at least Fallout 3 in New Vegas, you'll recognize this as the Overseer's office. Given the Overseer's, you know,
Can't run from me.
classic, you know, chair and his semicircle desk thing. And all Overseer offices, or at least all that I've seen, have a secret passage.
You're mine.
And I'd presume that this terminal would unlock it. But we're not able to check because it's locked with a password, which we're probably going to have to find by searching this area, which I'm going to save here because this is where it gets a little bit tricky. This is where the rebellion took place, mostly down the reactor level. They all hid out in the lower levels around the generator and the food and the water controls, and set up traps for those who would be daring enough to follow them. You can see there's a tripwire there that will trigger a number of grenades. Very, very dangerous trap here. Make sure you disarm it or else you will die. Almost guaranteed. You can get some frag grenades there if you are able to disarm it. Damn. I'm about to die. Yeah, the problem with using a rifle in close quarters like this is this game has a really weird interaction where essentially your rifle will go through the enemy and you'll be unable to damage them. So you either have to keep your distance or use a non-rifle. So for instance, we got some 10mm rounds just now, but we don't have 10mm gun. We just have Lucky here. Well, Lucky should be sufficient. Oof. Well, I can survive 2 hits, but I don't have a lot of health afterwards. So that's a problem. Excuse me. Had a cold for the past week. So, runny nose and the like. Start to sleep at. Not worth using that. So Sarsaparilla is fine though. I'll hop into stim just to be safe. Thought I said, alright. I had my stim packs sorted, which meant that they were unbound. So there's a trap on that door, and there's a second trap on this door, but this one's already been triggered by something, and this one is an explosion, so it's much less dangerous. However, on this door, there's another trap, if I'm not mistaken. I don't see a tripwire. Maybe not. But anyway. So this would be where the majority, as they were saying, would be fighting the minority and the overseer to attempt to break the tradition, break the precedents, go against what had been done for however many years, which to me seems like it'd be difficult to say the least, especially considering they had to kill people who were unwilling to join them. Hello. There we go. Average locked munitions, great. Some missiles. Again, that seems fairly overkill. I haven't even seen a missile launcher in this place, so not sure why those are here. Fusion cells. I mean, if it's randomly generated ammo set selected by the tier it's in, I suppose missiles would be in a higher tier than, say, 5.56 millimeters. So there's this area here, and you're either forced to go down here, which is pretty dangerous because there's a number of roadblocks. But if you have average or higher lockpick skills, like 50 or up, you're able to simply unlock this door and proceed to the next area. I'm going to take the more dangerous route just for the sake of explaining it to you, and also because there is an item we're going to need from here later on in the game, and I want to grab it now. So if you're doing the second half of the Brotherhood of Steel quest, you're required to go to a number of vaults and check for components to help fix their bunker's air filtration system. And it just so happens that one of the components is in this vault. Let's see here. I think jury rigging requires higher repair skill than we have. And possibly a higher level, too. Unless I just missed it. Be on level 12, I think. No? Maybe it is available. Or maybe it's level 14, actually. Yes, it is level 14 and requires 90. Well, anyway. Be sure to grab a breath as often as you can. If you have Project Nevada, you can also sprint underwater. And I don't think that causes you to lose air any faster, so... That's a quick tip, I guess, if you have that mod. Looks like it's not in that room. I'll double check real quick though, because, yeah, okay. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe it's a different vault. Yeah, it appears that this is not the vault I was thinking of. Not the dreads I'm looking for. Just unfortunate. So there's no reason for you to go down there. But that's the route you want to take, and you want to be sure to use the air pocket I showed you. Especially if you're planning on looting stuff down there. And once you're through, you can head to the atrium, cafeteria. The cafeteria has a few food items you can use. Shocker. I feel like I just set up a trap. Oh no, I think this is the room with the frag mines. Possibly. Well, there sure as hell is something in this room that explodes. So be wary of that. I shouldn't have been so brazen in my attempts to clear this room out, because there might have been something in that doorway. In fact, there probably was something in that doorway, or maybe it was in this doorway. Yeah, there's a tripwire here with something. And oh, the food's been scattered everywhere. Oh, I see. It blew up his gas tank, I guess, which... Gecko steak. How'd that get in here? Some ovens. Gubbins. Empty fridges. Looks like most of the food has been taken. And I suppose this is one of the areas that they... Or at least food's been used. This is one of the areas that they were guarding in their rebellion. Their coup. As evidenced by the corpses and the sandbags and the traps. And then there's the atrium here. Damn. I don't like to rely on VATS too much, but when there's enemies like this that moves in a very jerky way,
Eat this.
I almost have to. Especially since my frames are taking a little bit of a hit here. Gus Olsen. And apparently this also includes the Vault 11 Overseer's terminal password. So the atrium has the password you're looking for. And there's a... Oh, I guess it's not going to give us a nice audio file, but, you know, we already got plenty, so... Looks like the atrium might have a second level. Terminal here with a copy of the speech, if you didn't get it there in the first floor. And I think that's... Yeah, there's a blocked off hallway I think we came across earlier. So with that, we are... That's pretty much everything we need from this area besides the... Well, that's the terminal password reading, so now we can enter the Overseer Tunnel. So the main thing you need to watch out for in these areas are the traps. And there's also a fairly respectable quantity of these bugs and rats and stuff, so... A close quarters weapon would be your friend, or very, very extreme caution. And I no longer will arrest you. That's a shame. Alright, with the terminal password, we can activate it and open the sacrificial chamber.
Congratulations, Martyr. Your fantastic journey is only just beginning. Please proceed to the light.
Who you calling a martyr?
The light is calming and puts your mind at ease. Go to the light.
Classy.
Welcome. Please sit in the chair. The show is about to begin.
So before I sit down on this beautiful, obviously comfortable chair, that is not ruined in any way, I'm gonna have my
It is absolutely essential
friends
that you sit in the chair.
wait out here for me.
I'll follow your lead. I'll sit tight.
And wait
You
there.
have no other choice. You must sit
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
chair.
As soon as you sit down in that chair, the door's going to close behind you, so if you want your friends out of the way for this fight, make sure you leave them there. Light on my pulse mines.
You have no other choice. You must sit in the chair.
And have a seat. So those two panels on the sides there will open up to a set of middle doors, which will then open up to a
Greetings,
plethora
Martyr.
of
Welcome.
robotic
If you're
baddies
here
waiting to
now,
kill you.
It means you've been offered up as a
Which is
sacrifice so that
the
your
reason
body
why I
can
put those
continue
mines
to
down.
thrive. Currently, you may be feeling sad or angry. Perhaps you never got to have grandkids or to enjoy the pleasures of a fresh cigar. But march with your chin held high, soldier, and remember that each of us has an important role to play. For
Much
some
better.
people, their role might be to heal the sick. For others, it might mean they will drive a race car or fly a rocket ship. And some of us are meant to forfeit our lives for the good of the
Right,
people.
of course.
Sure, it might not be as fun as driving a race car.
Well,
but it's
granted, soldiers
every
do
bit
that,
as
but-
important. Let's take a moment to reflect on the moments that made your life worth living. Think about that time you kissed your steady girl for the first time under the bleachers at the big game. Or when you snuck out after curfew to catch that new flick that your parents wouldn't let you see because it was too scary. Boy, were they right. And who could forget when you met the love of your life?
Very cute little
What a
slideshow.
looker. These are just examples. Do you feel that feeling stirring in your chest as you think of these things? Good. What you are feeling is peace. You've led a great life. Living it has been its own reward.
Want to save? When he says that,
It is only the beginning.
when you're feeling
Close
peace,
your
and
eyes now
begins talking about the afterlife.
and imagine what joys await you in the next life. The afterlife.
And you can use a stealth boy if you
Can
want.
you see them? Good.
Might give you a second or two. These doors will open. And the fun begins. Sentry bot, Robo Brain, Protectrons. And there are turrets on the walls behind them. Looks like those mines did the trick. Leaving us with an empty room of dead robots. So again, pulse grenades, pulse mines, very helpful here. And I don't think they even detected me because of the stealth boy. If you have the project, frag grenades and frag mines will also work, but they're more dangerous and possibly less effective, I think, just because they're not. Robots take a ton of damage from pulse weapons, and you could end up hurting yourself if you're not careful with pulse things. Here's a power armor training manual and a set of power armor for you if you have installed the Project Nevada mod. Which I will put on for a moment just because I want to show it off. So it's a very cool set of armor based off of Vault-Tec design. Very, very effective too. I think it's, yeah, that's just probably one of the most, if not the most powerful set of power armor in the game, given you have the mod. So that's helpful. Of course, now I'm over encumbered as I picked it up. I can probably repair something actually. Never mind. I guess I'll just have to walk across the room now. So that room is really not a problem if you have pulse weapons, and you're not going to need pulse weapons again for quite a while. So looks like I'm going to keep one afterwards as well. Lots of corpses here as evidence of people trying to run to this door. This is indeed where you need to go to activate the Vault 11 mainframe, where you can override the lockdown so the door will open. You'll receive a recording to the solution and the Vault 11 automated response, which will also give you 500 experience. This is an unmarked quest.
I've got your back.
Alright. I'm going to carry that armor for a little bit. And that's Vault 11. So, again, pulse mines and pulse grenades are invaluable, as in very, very valuable for this room. And if you have Project Nevada mod, you're able to get a very good piece of power armor here, or I guess set of power armor here, for your travels. And you even get a power armor training manual to teach you how to use power armor in here as well. So again, very useful. And with that, I think this is going to be the end of this part. So in the next part, I will see you guys... you know what? I'm not even sure. We're going to go do some... We're likely going to go do some exploring around the East River, or we might go down to Nipton and start Boone's quests, or might even make it to the Strip, actually. There's a few things we can do up there, so I'll know by the time I make the next episode, hopefully. I'll see you guys next time. So it turns out that I was not wrong about there being a a component for the air filtration unit in this vault. In pertinence to the Brotherhood quest Still in the Dark. There is, in fact, a chip in this vault, but I was wrong about where it was. Or at least I remembered wrong about where it was. It is not in the reactor area, but it is in a submerged area, so that's probably why I forgot. Yes, likely down here. There's some air at the top of the room here. And in this locker is the differential pressure controller. So be sure to grab that when you come here and not be an idiot like I do. Again, there's air all along the surface here, and to get to it from the overseer's office, it is straight down the hall. Where you would normally go straight, you go down the utility, and you just keep going straight, and you don't go into these side rooms here where I disarm the traps.